Welcome, I'm your host Lee Adamson. Today we're going to talk tennis, and what a great sport that is. And we have a team here today, a local high school team that has done something that they hadn't done since the early 90s, and we think it's pretty special, and that's why we invited them to be with us today. And our first guest is the leader of that team, the coach of that team. He's been at Peters Township for quite some time, about 9 years, and has a whole lot of awards and accolades that came out of Peters from the tennis standpoint. And now he's taken his coaching to Mount Lebanon High School, and they've just this year won the first boys WPL championship since 1994. Please let me introduce the head coach, Coach Augie Garofoli. Hi, Coach. How are you?
Good, Lee. How are you doing?
Great. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
So, you're out at Peters, and what a great place for tennis Peters is. Talk a little bit about your experience out of Peters.
Well, I went to Peters in 1994 and had a great experience. I mean, the athletic department there they just treated me with open arms. Joe Mays, fantastic athletic director, and I was there for about 9 years and coached the boys and the girls, and it was great coaching out there. And the only reason I left there was I just had my third child, and it was just getting too overwhelming. So my wife kind of gave me an ultimatum: either coach or actually there's the door. And so I ended up leaving coaching in 2003 and took off until last year. And then I got a phone call from the current coach at the time, Dave Schenefeld. And he said he was going to retire, and he wanted to see if I wanted to take over the program. Well, that was a no-brainer. I went to Mount Lebanon. I was there from 84 to 88, played on the tennis team, and I just wanted, and that Mount Lebanon was the only team I would go back to coaching. So, and I just talked to John Grogan, and then here I am.
Well, you must have been spending a ton of time coaching for your wife to say something like that.
A lot of coaching.
Yeah.
A lot of coaching.
Well,
yeah.
that's because I guess there was some success out there. I know the Risk sisters, and who are some of the notable kids that come out of Peters?
Well, when I was there, Sarah Risk was a freshman, and she stayed for 4 years. So that means that's going to be 4 WPIAL finals. She went to the States 4 years. So her brother Dan Risk was out there. Lee Michael Marnick. Dan and Lee Michael were the doubles champions. Jamie Delory, Kristen Edgar were the girls doubles champions. So out at Peters, we had, either singles or doubles were qualifying for WPIALs, and we were going to the state at the same time. So a lot of extra hours.
So now you had a good relationship with Joe Mays. Now you're working with John Grogan, and how's that relationship been?
Fantastic. John is a coach's AD. I mean, what I mean by that is anytime I needed something, I call him up, and I called him a lot this year, and he'd call me right back. I mean, it was a matter of a half hour. I mean, he was just on top of things. If we needed anything, he got it for us. Up at WPIAL singles, you had to wear a school-issued hat. So, our players, we didn't have school-issued hats. You cannot wear anything endorsed, and no endorsed products on there. No Nike, no Adidas. And called up John. I said, John, I need hats that are school-issued. Well, right before the state tournament, he got us the hats right before the state tournament, in which we really needed. And so he was always coming through.
Do you have to play with hats?
You don't, but some players are used to playing with hats. It's just something that's, if it's outside, if it's real sunny, they really need it. A lot of players don't, but some on our team do.
Get used to it.
And they just get used to it.
Now, what do you know about the current state of affairs with this new school and the tennis courts? Do you know anything about it?
Here and there, I'm not really involved. I talked to John. This year we weren't even supposed to be here at Mount Lebanon High School. We actually had courts out at Settlers Cabin, and that's where we were supposed to play this year. Actually, fortunately, I'm kind of glad we didn't because, I mean, I think at Settlers, there's traveling involved. It might get a little hairy, but going back and forth. But if you want good tennis courts, you're going to have to adjust your schedule, and we were definitely ready for that. But I'm kind of glad that we kind of stayed here this year. I think our courts, they're kind of beat up, but we used it to our advantage. Because I know some of the schools didn't like playing on our courts, but we were used to it, and it worked out this year. So, but in the future, when we do get our new courts, they're going to be fantastic.
Well, I know that there's been discussion on whether there was room for the new courts and all this kind of thing, and I think it's still under discussion, especially with the budget or the bids coming in so high for the school. So things are up in the air with all that. There's some things in the balance. Hopefully not the tennis courts, because I can't imagine Mount Lebanon without tennis courts.
Yeah,
I mean, with the wonderful clay facility they have just down below. Could you use those as your home court?
Actually, we can't during the winter time because they have contract times that have already been booked.
But your season's not in the winter, is it?
No, but those bubbles are up until the end of April. So really, we wouldn't be able to use it until the beginning of May, and you can't open the courts when it's too cold outside anyway. So I've already talked to Hank Hughes down there, and he would try to do it, but it's just not going to be feasible to.
Yeah. What got you into tennis as a young person? What school did you go to?
I went to Mount Lebanon High School.
Okay.
I started playing tennis at the Mount Lebanon Rec Center, and started when I was 9, and started playing my first tournament probably when I was around 12. Jack Loss, he's still teaching tennis. He took me to my first tournament, and loved it ever since. Got a great experience. When I played at Mount Lebanon High School, played there for 4 years, and fantastic experience.
Did you go on to school after that?
I did. I had a partial scholarship to Robert Morris University, and I played there for about 2.5 years, and then after that, when I graduated, then I just started teaching tennis full time.
So tennis is your life.
Tennis is my life.
It is. Now, what were your strengths and weaknesses as a player?
Strengths, I would say return to serve, defensive tennis. I wouldn't say myself was an offensive player. I didn't have a very, I'm an average height, not a big guy, but I would run a lot of balls down. I had a good net game for a small guy. But my weaknesses, I would always say, would be my serve. My serve wasn't a big serve. I think I throw right-handed, but I play tennis left-handed, so my serve's not as flowing, so it's kind of an awkward-looking serve. But I would say that would definitely be my weakness.
What made you want to coach and make tennis like your life?
Just started teaching tennis at Mount Lebanon. I started there when I was 16 under Bill Nichols and Jack Loss. Jack Loss was really the guy who got me started teaching, and loved coaching with kids. Loved it. And I always knew that I was going to coach kids. Somehow I knew that. And but when I went to school, I wanted to see if there was anything else out there, but coaching kids was always my life. So,
what's the difference between tennis lessons and coaching a team?
Well, coaching a team's more or less, they already have their skills. It's just keeping them focused, and just keeping them focused, trying to keep them as a team, because tennis is an individual sport. But when you come to high school, it's a team, so you're kind of rooting for your other players too. So you're playing for your team, and also you're playing for your school. So keeping them focused.
Well, we've done some shows, some tennis shows. Our main tennis shows, we've done the St. Clair team that has won in the past, but we've also done some shows down at the tennis center in Mount Lebanon for the clay court tournament, the collegiate clay, and the futures with Dan Hackett.
Right.
Do you know Dan and that whole operation?
Very well. And he does a great
tournament, isn't it?
Very good tournament. I mean, Dan's done a great job to revive it. You get some really top players down there, and it's free, yeah. and you're watching a lot of top players, and it's a great atmosphere for tennis. And South Hills is a big tennis community, So we're very fortunate to have it down there.
You know, in doing the couple of shows we did, you know, there's players from all over the world. I mean, we interviewed players from Australia, and
Right.
you know, a couple of things that struck me was just the skill level was incredible, and people are traveling all over the world just to get points to move up the ladder.
Right.
But the other part of it was that we did these U16 seeded kids that were U16, 17, 18, and they were top 5 in the nation seeded. And, you know, their coach was there. And we had a chance to talk to the kids and their coach. And the coach told me something that I've never forgot, ever. And he said to me that he felt tennis as a whole and everything that's involved in it is the hardest sport out there. And, you know, it struck me to say this in Western Pennsylvania with you know, this is football capital, Steelers, and basketball's big, baseball, but you know, it struck me to hear someone say tennis, and not everybody would think that. You know, you got a little ball, you got a little racket, and they're not thinking tough. What do you think he was referring to?
Well, tennis, again, you're out there, you're out there alone. You're not going to have anyone helping you out, but you can be out there for 3 hours. You can be out there for 3.5 hours. You don't really get a lot of breaks. I mean, you get your 90-second changeover, but you could be out there in the 90-degree heat, and there's no subs. You know, in basketball, if you're tired, you get someone to come in. Football is the same thing. You know, if you're on offense, you could be sitting out for a long time. Now, it's not going to be as physical, like in contact, but you're out there in the heat, you're out there in the elements, and you have to be in tip-top shape to last that long you could play a 3-set match. You have to be physically fit and mentally fit to withstand all that.
And I think about the mental part of it when I watch Wimbledon, the French Open, the U.S. Open, and these players that are on the brink of elimination, and to really dig deep inside mentally and physically to come back from deficits to not only get back but go on to win. Because it's elimination. You don't win, you're gone.
Right.
And I mean, I have to think the mental aspect is pretty huge.
Oh, it's very. I think when you get to a point, the physical is already there. You already know your stroke. You already know how to hit your serves and your ground strokes. But that mental part, you have to be able to withstand from being down and also to close out matches. There's a lot of little things that can go wrong during a match, and you have to be very mentally tough.
So when you have tryouts for your tennis team, what do you look for?
I look for, well, of course, overall match play, if your wins and losses, your attitude, what you did in the off season. Did you put the time in? If you didn't put any time in, that could go against you. But your demeanor on the court, how you withstand losing points, how you withstand from winning, your sportsmanship. All that takes into effect.
Are you able to play much in the cold weather early?
Yeah. Well, actually, the rain really put us back. Cold weather, we were out there in 40 degrees. So I don't think I'd go under 35 degrees. But if it's around 40 degrees, we're out there.
It's just the rain hurt you.
The rain hurt us.
Now, most of these high school sports are going with this off-season training. I mean, do you suggest that, or do you do that in tennis? And if so, how does that work?
A lot of the kids do a lot of training with trainers in the off-season, and they do clinics and private lessons with their pros in their tennis program. So that's what they're playing tournaments throughout the summer is mostly what they do in their training.
What are your thoughts about your players playing other sports?
I don't mind it, but when you get to high school, you gotta play just one sport. You gotta focus on that sport. So
you're saying you do mind it?
I do mind it. I do mind it when you're starting your high school season. But before, when you're a young age, play in as many sports as you can. You gotta kind of feel your way out. Feel which sport where you're going to excel at, where you're going to have fun at.
Well, but Mount Lebanon's an interesting place because there's some athletes up at that school, and probably the most notable being Luke Hagee, who is a star in a football team, the basketball team, and he starts for the baseball team. So there's some throwback kids up there that are playing multiple sports. I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
Those sports, yeah, you can play. I mean, basketball, baseball, and football, you can probably do that. But with tennis, it's either, if you want to be on a top-ranked player on our varsity team, the only other sport that might help you would be soccer because it works on your footwork. But with baseball, it's the same. It's the same season anyway. But I think with tennis, it's just a skill that you have to work on your technique to actually be able to excel at.
What were your expectations with this team prior to the season?
What we said, I expected our team to win the Whitfield title. I really thought this was the year. Now, state title, that was a much bigger goal, but I really expected our guys to win a Whitfield title. I think the way our team was made up, I felt like if we didn't win a Whitfield title, I think it would have been a letdown.
When I think of coaches, I think of a football coach coming into a locker room and just pumping them up and getting all emotional and, trying to get deep down and get all the effort they can out there and going after everybody. Now, what is your style as a tennis coach? I'm thinking you're not Newt Rockne, but I don't know. How do you...
The players probably know this. I'm not a big raw speech guy before the matches. I'm really not. I think during the match, I'm into it. I'm screaming, I'm yelling. Some of the players I will let speak, and that'll get them fired up. But tennis, everyone, if you're not fired up before the match, what I'm going to say may not do anything. So I just talk, be focused. If you keep your focus, don't get down, be positive. Those are the stuff I say before a match. But during the match, then I'm into it.
And I know in these big professional sport tennis tournaments, the coaches aren't able to speak. They're not able to say anything.
No, but with tennis, we can speak on the changeovers. That's the only time we can speak. Usually sometimes I may not say anything. Depends on how you're doing. If I see that the player's down, he's not playing well, I'll go over and talk to him.
So how many matches are going on at the same time?
5.
So you're really looking at all 5?
Yeah, trying to. Sometimes it's tough depending on where we're playing.
And you're trying to deal with what I guess you feel is one of the most important parts, whoever that may be.
Yeah, usually I see which match is going to be the one that I'm going to have to look at the most. There might be a match that I feel that line, that first singles, he's always going to be in control. Or even, let's say, third singles might be in control. I may not look at them as much. I may look at like second doubles, those guys are a little bit more inexperienced as a team. So I may look at them more. So that's how I usually focus on the matches.
Why do you think this team did what it did? What was the characteristics of this team?
I think experience is a key. There's such a tight-knit team. There's really not a lot of unselfish play. There's really no selfish players, I should say. I think the guys with experience, a lot of tournament players, they know what it takes to win, and I think that's the main reason.
Well, let's say you have a kid, he's a good athlete, and he likes tennis and he's young, but he doesn't have a lot of money. Their family doesn't have a lot of money. Tennis and golf, I guess, have gotten the reputation of, quote, the rich man's sports, so to speak. So speak to that, because even in Mount Lebanon, where everybody thinks everybody has all this money,
right?
Not everybody,
right?
So with that being the case, there are some people in Mount Lebanon that are just making ends meet.
Right.
So can that kid become a tennis player?
Well, I think they could in a way that just playing matches with the neighborhood kids. If you got friends that play, try to play with them. Try to get some tips from them. Go to a low-cost clinics. You can work on just doing clinics that way. You may have to take a few private lessons here and there. I don't know how successful you'll be, but you can maybe make a high school team. College, maybe, but you're not going to be on the pro circuit because you will need that training. But maybe a high school team or possibly a Division III college team.
My wife grew up in Franklin Regional, and they didn't have money, and they played on the tennis team. And I think it was because they had a park right behind their house, and they went up and played tennis all the time. And so basically, they did what you just said.
Right.
And so if you like something, do it, right? I mean,
Exactly.
You can't get better reading a book.
Right.
You got to go do it. But then, on the other hand, though, tennis is an interesting sport because you can be a really good athlete, but that'll only take you so far. I mean, you can go get balls, but hitting that top spin, that just doesn't show up.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
So is that mostly the biggest techniques that they need is the ball striking?
Ball striking. Top spin, slice. You're going to need all those, and you're going to need an instructor to teach you that. I mean, you could watch it, and you can maybe do it, but you're going to need a coach to at least guide you and teach you the fundamentals, and then you go and do your matches.
And that's your business. You teach, and they pay you.
Exactly.
That's your business.
That's my business.
So now, what's a good age to start a kid that wants to be a tennis player?
I mean, kids start as young as 4, but I would say I'd say 7 or 8 would be a good age. At least they're a little bit bigger. They're going to be a little bit more coordinated. They're going to be more interested. But we got kids in our program that are starting as young as 4. Just to get the fundamentals of footwork, the hand-eye. But tennis, I'd say 6 being the youngest, I think. They have kids playing tournaments now at 8, just depending on the player.
Is there anything a coach can do from a high school to make a, quote, tennis program in a community? Because you think of basketball has youth basketball that feeds to the high school, and baseball, youth baseball, football, youth football. Is there any way you can put your hands on a feeder program, so to speak?
Well, actually, we're very fortunate here at Mount Lebanon. We have a feeder program. We have a tennis program that's been here for a good 35, 40 years, and they have beginners. They have beginners, they have advanced players. But they have that beginner program just to get those kids started. And if you don't have that feeder program, it's really hard to develop.
Yeah.
Because you can't go out and recruit.
Right.
I mean, you can go out and get good athletes from different sports, but you need that feeder program. So that's how, we're very fortunate.
So what type of athlete would be a tennis player? You're saying you like the soccer because of the footwork. What type of athlete?
A guy who can be able to run a lot of balls down. You're going to need some height. You're going to need the speed. I always like fast guys that can run a lot of balls down. And that height always helps. A guy around 5'10", 5'11", would be perfect for high school. Now, we have a few guys on our team that are 6'2", 6'3", booming serves. But for an athlete, I'd like that guy that's going to run a lot of balls down. It's going to be fast, going to have great footwork. Personally, I like a guy who can come to the net too. The guy who can put balls away instead of just banging balls from the baseline.
Can you be not as tall and be a good tennis player?
Yeah. We have a few of them on our team. There's guys, it's probably around 5'7". On the tour you see, Michael Chang was only 5'7", 5'8", and he made top 10. So that he had a lot of athletic ability, can run a lot of balls down. So you still can excel at 5'8".
Who is your biggest rivals in the South Hills?
Of course, St. Clair. St. Clair is always going to be our rival, and it's a fun and it's a really fun rivalry. Guys really get into it. Sometimes it may get a little out of hand, but I think overall I think it's a very healthy rivalry, and I think it'll always be, hopefully we'll always be in that section with them.
They've been really successful, though, haven't they?
Very,
Ron?
very.
And by out of hand, what do you mean?
Well, this year they had a down year. I mean, a down year, and it means like they were in a transition year, just like all teams go through it.
Right.
And I think next year they're going to have some young players coming in that's just going to improve that team. And I think in the years to come, we're going to have those young players, and I think it's going to still be that real tight rivalry.
Well, I know you work at this St. Clair Tennis Center, but
Yes.
how long do you see yourself coaching Mount Lebanon tennis?
As long as my wife can let me. I think I can see myself coaching 20 years, 25 years. I mean, really up until I can retire. I mean, until I really say, hey, it's time. And, I really enjoyed coaching there. The parents are great. The administration's fantastic. I love working with the athletic department. They're very supportive. So I see myself at least 25, 30 years.
Well, Coach, what a great year. First time since 1994.
Correct.
To bring the boys Whitfield Championship to Mount Lebanon. And really, I think that'll even heat the rivalry up even more so now with the St. Clairs and
Yes.
all the other good teams. So I think that's just going to be good for everybody. And, it's a great way to start at Mount Lebanon. I know it's your hometown. You love it. And what nice thing is to get that up on top like you have this year. So I just want to congratulate you on just coming out of the gates, with a bang.
Thank you.
And I know Mount Lebanon enjoys the success, and really, but it's more than that. It's more than that in Mount Lebanon. Mount Lebanon loves to win championships. Obviously, they've done it in multiple sports, but it's also about conducting yourself the right way.
Yes.
And that's what the community stands for. I know that's what the school stands for. And, I know that's what your tennis team stands for. And you spoke to it. You said when you're looking at tryouts, part of what you're looking for is sportsmanship.
Yes.
And that's a big part of tennis, is it not?
It is. You have to respect your opponents, you respect your teammates, and you respect your coaches. And I definitely feel very strongly about that.
Yeah, absolutely, as do I, in all sports.
Yes.
So I just want to thank you first for coming and sharing your time with us.
Thank you for having us.
It's been a great start to your hopefully long tenure here at Mount Lebanon High School, and I just have nothing but the best wishes for you, your kids on your team, but also your family.
Yeah.
And I hope everything turns out well for you, Mount Lebanon.
Well, thank you, Lee.
Okay. Also joining us from the Mount Lebanon High School boys tennis team, the WPL champions, two freshman doubles players. To my right, Nick Reese. Nick, it's great to have you here.
Nice for you to have me here.
And next to Nick is Peter Haslett. Hi, Peter.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here.
I first of all want to know, when did you start playing tennis?
I started playing tennis when I was around like 5 or 6, but I really started playing competitive tennis when I was about 10, 11.
Did you play other sports?
I used to play basketball, soccer, and that's just about it. And then like Coach Augie said, I just found tennis, and that ended up working.
What was it about tennis that you liked?
Well, I always liked the challenge, and as a kid, most people have trouble like picking it up, and I always liked having a little trouble here and there, so I just kept with it and ended up just sticking
Did you say
with
a little trouble here and there?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, sometimes it's hard to get a stroke down, or if you're having trouble, you sometimes get frustrated, and it's more fun to get through that frustration and get the goal instead of just quitting. So
How about that? And that's interesting you say that, because a lot of people, Nick, when they run into trouble, they go just the other way.
Right.
They say, you know what, I'm going to go do something else. But what you're saying is you embrace the challenge, the obstacle, the trouble that you run into. You embrace that because you know the other end is satisfying.
yeah.
I'll tell you what, I've been doing this for 15 years. I never had a kid say that. That's really kind of interesting.
Yes.
Really, it is. And Peter, how about you? what did you play as a younger kid?
Well, my sister started playing tennis when she was 14, and so my parents like sort of got me involved when I was really young, like 3 years old, and so I've been playing like really. Started playing competitively when I was 8, and I was doing like ever since I was about like probably 10 years old. I've been doing like I've been playing tennis every week.
Did you play any other sports?
Yeah, I used to play baseball a lot, and I like that a lot just because in tennis, like, you're usually all alone on the court, and whenever you're competing at tournaments, there's nobody else out there with you. And when you're on, like, a baseball, you're on a team and stuff, you can talk with other people, and it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, it's completely different. And so how do you handle that maybe as you're competing in these tournaments? You're not always with the Mount Lebanon team, you're doing the other tournaments yourself. How do you handle not having other teammates with you and just kind of going out there and doing it yourself? Who's your support system, Peter?
My parents, by far. My parents have always supported me. Like, no matter what tournament I go to, my parents have always been there. My mom's always, like, keeping me on track, telling me to drink, keep hydrated, and always worrying about, like, how well I'm doing on the court. Not, like, I'm not, like, my results-wise, but, like, physically, like, whether I'm okay. Because sometimes, like, one time I got dehydrated and I had to go to the hospital. And so, like, it sort of scarred my mom. And now ever since, like, she's made me drink, like, on court all the time and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're a freshman in high school, and you have your parents running you all over creation to play tennis and just taking care of you.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, as a freshman in high school, do you appreciate what they're doing?
No, I mean, like, no.
Yes.
It's like I sometimes, like, Nick is sort of like comes from a completely different family. Like, he has 3 other siblings, and so his parents can't always be there for him. And my mom, she used to work, and she stopped when I came along, and so she stopped working when I was about 3, and she's like been like a stay-at-home mom, and I've been her major priority because my sister's like off, has a job, like out of college and stuff. So I'm her main priority.
So you don't appreciate her?
I mean, yeah, I do, but it's like sometimes she sort of gets in the way of things, and I wish like maybe she was out doing something else rather than worrying about me.
Oh, so she's all over you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Non-stop.
So it's like a double-edged sword there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. So Nick, talk about that. I mean, do your parents take you and do these things?
They do. I mean, Peter is coming from, like, his mom is there for him a lot, and I can see why he can be mad about that or just frustrated at times. But my parents, I have 3 other siblings that are younger than me, so it's like, we'll take you to the tennis tournament, but we have to take Jack to a baseball game. But most of the times, my dad does stay there and watches me and just makes sure that I have water, and like even win or lose, he's always there helping or seeing if I'm okay. And so
there's more siblings to spread it out.
Yeah, and it's easier to appreciate that because I know that there are 3 other kids under my roof or my parents' roof because, well, I'm not the only person there, so.
So you're saying you do appreciate it?
Yeah, but it gets annoying with some of the siblings at times, but
Yeah.
I do appreciate it.
Well, they'll be glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Now, what do you, Peter? What do you like about tennis? What's in tennis that you like?
I mean, that's sort of like how you're always moving all the time. Like, you don't really get much break. Like in like baseball, a lot of times the reason why I didn't like it as much as tennis because I was standing around in the outfield a lot or waiting for me to bat, and it's not like much activity. And I have like a very like high endurance level, so that's what I like about tennis. I can stay out there for a long period of time and keep up with other players.
Yeah, there's definitely, it can get a little lonely in the outfield,
Yeah.
can't it? And that's, where soccer and other things kind of work. There's more movement.
Mm-hmm.
But you have endurance. You ever think of running?
Yeah, my sister played tennis like throughout her career, and then once she got to college, she was a sophomore, and she decided that she was gonna go out for the cross country team. And that year, she like broke records, and she went to like the national Division III championships and stuff. And she was a great runner. And so my parents were sort of frustrated. They spent all this money and time on tennis, and really she was like a really great runner, and she could have been doing that. But I mean, I'm really completely different. Like I do tennis because I enjoy it, not because I'm good at it. And I'm sort of good at running, but I don't enjoy it as much as tennis.
It's work,
Yeah,
Peter.
it is.
That is work. I know, because
Yeah.
I run around the tennis center around that.
Yeah.
I know how much work that is. Now, Nick, tell me, what's the part of your game that, what's the strengths of your game? What's the weaknesses of your game?
Well, the strength of my game has to be either like my serve and my net play because my serve isn't the strongest because I'm not like the biggest guy, but I can place my serve. So if I want it going out wide to their backhand, then I can go out wide to their backhand. And this really helps me out in doubles because if your partner knows where your serve's going, then he can make a play at the net and put the ball away easier or give your opponents a harder time getting it back. And some of my weaknesses are probably my backhand, just because it's not as developed as my forehand, which is, it's okay, but I mean, I'd rather be hitting forehands cross court, like nonstop, than hitting backhands.
How about you, Peter?
Well, I think one of my strengths in tennis is I have a really good mental game since I've been playing like ever since I was like 3 or 8. And I've competitively since I was 8, and so like I have a really good mental game. I don't shut down easily, and I always keep fighting. I think that's one of my biggest strengths, and one of my weaknesses is I'm very impatient on court. Like I don't like want to rally the ball with my opponents. Like I want to like go for stuff and get to the net and finish off the point.
So you're saying you're mentally tough.
Yeah.
So where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. I mean, once you sort of play so many tournaments, you sort of realize like, like being mental is a big part of the game because if you get down on yourself or stuff like that, your opponent sort of gets like hyped up because of that. They're like, oh yeah, I got my opponent down. Now I can win the next couple points. But when you're just like mentally tough and you don't show that stuff, then it's like your opponent isn't working off of any of your mental disabilities.
Did you learn that on your own, or did someone help plant that seed?
No, I mean, yeah, I used to have a temper when I was a kid. Like, I used to throw my racket and stuff, and as, like, time goes on, you sort of just mature and you realize, like, just from doing so many tournaments that, you don't really need to do that. You need to stay focused on the match. Nobody really taught me. You just sort of pick it up along the way.
Yeah, it's funny you say about your temper because when I was living in Atlanta in the early 80s, John McEnroe was the big tennis guy.
Yeah, man.
And he had a temper, and he was throwing his racket, he was yelling at the umpire, and we went down to play tennis in Atlanta. Atlanta has a huge Atlanta Lawn Tennis Association. It's huge, and the whole city plays, all ages. And we would go play, and we would watch these kids, and they were throwing their racket and cussing, and I'm thinking to and we're driving away one night, and I was telling my wife, I said, you know what I think, the reason I think these kids are doing this? And she said, why? I go, because I think they're watching John McEnroe on TV do this.
Yeah.
And it was just what I thought, but you never saw John McEnroe, did you?
No, I sort of grew up with, Federer a lot, and although, like, I didn't like Federer's game as much, like, I respect him mentally, because Federer, when he was younger and played tournaments, he had a really bad mental game, too. Like, he used to throw his racket and stuff, and he sort of just, like, as time went on, he started being, like, bigger and stuff. He picked up a mental game, and now you never see him show any emotion out there.
It's funny, just as a person that's a tennis fan, I'm not really much of a tennis player, but a tennis fan, I watch the tennis players, the big ones. You like to see a little personality. You like to see someone really get into it. And, But like the Yvonne Lendls, he would just hit it, and it would just be complete like stone. You don't even know what's going on. You look like a robot.
Yeah.
And you can get a little bored with that. But on the other hand, so it's kind of almost maybe trying to find a happy medium between showing yourself a little bit, but also not giving away the mental aspect.
Yeah.
So does that make sense to you, Peter?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like John McEnroe, I think the reason why he did that so much is because it was entertaining to watch, and everybody used to love to watch John McEnroe flip out at the umpire and throw his racket and stuff. Although Federer's not as fun to watch, it's just amazing how graceful he is out there with his foot moving on. You have to really respect the tennis out there.
Absolutely, and your coach Garofoli, and I completely agree with him. He's about sportsmanship. So I'm all about sportsmanship and respect. I mean, I was just brought up that way, but yet I still like to watch John McEnroe. So it's kind of like a guilty pleasure. And I don't respect what he did, but I kind of enjoyed watching him. Now, Nick, who's your favorite teacher and why?
My favorite teacher has to be Mr. Loomish because he teaches history, and I feel like history is more important or very important in our society today for if we don't remember what happened on let's say a war, then how are we going to know how to resolve it if it comes up again? So just that kind of stuff interests me, and helps me figure out what I can do, or if I'm in trouble, what can I use to my advantage without getting in even more trouble. So.
Well, who told you about that history, about learning history? If you learn from history, then you can use it in your present day. Did he teach you that, or did you figure that out?
Well, my grandfather is a historian, so as a kid, he would tell me all these war stories and World War II battles, and it just came to me as like, well, if I know not to do this, then I can expect this. So like as I got older, it just seemed like my idea ended up being correct. So I mean, and it's easier for me to remember like a war compared to a math theory or like a chemistry equation. So
What college did Mr. Lemich go to?
I don't know.
I know, Penn State.
Oh yeah,
He-
just kidding.
He loves Penn State. He loves Penn State, and he's a big Penn State guy. He's a good guy.
No, he's a great guy. I
He's a
like him.
great guy. He really is. And he's now he probably loved having you. Your grandfather teaching you all his history, and then you walk into his history class. He probably liked having you in his class.
Yeah, well, high school tennis kind of decreased my time with him or reduced it because
During
that was
tennis season.
yeah, that was my 8th period class, and I only had him for a semester.
I see.
And this year we missed a lot of school, but I mean we won a Whippeal championship, so I'm fine with that.
Peter, who's your favorite teacher and why?
Mark Kernian, chemistry, because I know like I've never learned anything about chemistry throughout like my whole school career, and when I came into that class, like I started learning so much right off the bat, and I think that's a really good thing, and I respect him as a person because he teaches a lot like new material, and out of any class, like we always learn the most in that class. No matter what day it is, we're always learning the most in that class.
Wow, how about that? All right, let's pretend something, and I'm going to ask both of you this question. Let's
Sweet.
pretend that right now you have to sign up for what you're going to be the rest of your life. So what comes to your mind and why? Nick?
Well, I want to be. If I had to sign up for something, I'd either want to be a lawyer or a politician. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand because I don't know. That's kind of how I
How
was
do you
raised.
know that?
Well, my grandfather, yeah, the historian, is big into politics, and he taught that with my mother, and then she kind of influenced me. And my dad's job revolves around a lot of politics, so I always thought it was interesting dealing with other people's problems and making it better for like a whole society of people. And it just amazes me, like maybe I can make a difference in like a community, a state, or even like the country. So
Nick, you've really been positively influenced by your grandfather and your parents.
yeah,
That's good.
I think so.
Peter, how about you?
Well, I sort of want to go into somewhere with like business. I mean, I haven't really looked into it yet. I sort of just like go with the flow and sort of focus on what's happening now and not like the future. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah, I haven't really. I mean, I know I want to do something with business and nothing medical or anything like that. I can't stand that stuff.
Okay. Now, Nick, what's the most memorable match that you've played in your whole tennis career?
That's a hard one. I mean, this season has been my favorite match this year or this season was probably when we played Erie Prep or Cathedral Prep. I mean, we know, or Peter and I have been playing tournaments with kids like all over the state, so we know most of the kids there. And going into that match, I knew those kids were maybe even a little better than we were, but I feel like we played hard enough and we kept a mental game. Like, we didn't get mad over shots. We didn't get mad at each other for making stupid errors. I mean, it's just, we kept focus and we played a tight match and got it done. It was good. I mean,
So that sticks out to you.
it sticks out to me because, like, it wasn't just me that time. I feel like Rafa played really well too, and that was probably the best I've seen him play, like, mentally and physically. I mean, he was running down balls and just getting everything back, which, if that was by myself, I don't think I could have done it. Like,
So you think you overachieved a little bit that day
I think we did.
because
Yeah.
they're good.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the most fun parts of sports is when you overachieve.
Yeah. You beat someone that like people don't expect you to beat.
I'm with you, Nick, all the way. That absolutely. That's my favorite part of sports is
Yeah.
winning when you're not supposed to win. Peter, how about you?
So is this this question? Is this my entire career or just high school?
Both.
Well, my entire career, like I have a lot of memorable matches, and I've played a lot of matches. But I remember one that sticks out to me a lot was when I was I was 9 years old. I played my doubles partner Dave Michaela at the Glen Creek tournament, and we had Dave was sort of like starting tournaments then, and so was I, and so we were sort of like early into the whole tournament experience. But I remember like I was playing him, and I knew how good this kid was, and I split sets and I lost in the third set. But I remember after the match like respecting him a lot for how like good of a player he was.
And how about high school?
Probably the same match that Nick said, the Cathedral Prep match. I mean, because Dave and I back at Altoona in the beginning of the season lost to one of the guys and another player, and so we had to play him again, and it was going to be like really, we knew it was going to be a tough match, but we came out there and had a really strong lead, and we both played really well. We won handily.
Nick, coming into Mount Lebanon High School, what did you think it was going to be like?
The high school tennis.
Well, no, high school.
Oh, well, I was like any other 8th grader. I was kind of afraid because first day, I think I missed 3 classes or went to the wrong room 3 times, so it was good. I mean, my favorite part of that day was I had chemistry 4th period, but I didn't know it was like 4th period. And I walked down, and there were like backpacks by all of the seats, and I was like trying to find a seat. And a girl that I went to school with went, Nick, this is a double chem. I go, oh, great. And then I like run around the school trying to find my next
So you were in the
class.
wrong class.
Oh yeah. And then my next class was like, or the class I was supposed to be in was like 3 floors up. So
Did you make a scene?
a little bit, but you know,
But hey,
it's fun.
It's all fun. Peter, how about you? What was it like getting acclimated to Mount Lebanon High School?
I mean, like, well, I know it's a big difference between 8th grade and middle school and high school. Like, in middle school, it's like, for me, I didn't put much effort in middle school. Like, it sort of came easy to me, but in high school, you have to try a lot harder. And, like, since, like, you have a lot more classes, like, you have to focus individually on that night. Like, I would have to put, like, an hour of chemistry in that night, and, like, a half-hour math and stuff like that. And it was just really tough. But, I mean, I sort of liked going to a bigger school. Like, I thought that was going to be a lot more fun, like, not as small. And I feel like when I went to the high school, I had a lot more freedom. Like, there was a lot of rules that we didn't have, that we had in middle school that weren't, like, didn't really matter that much at the high school. And so I felt like I was a lot more free in the high school.
Was this the first time you two did a TV interview?
Yep.
Well, you both did really good. Now, we're almost done. We're almost done. Coach Garofoli, tell me about what he's like. What kind of coach is he like?
No, I'm just kidding. He's a good guy. I mean, he helped us out throughout the season. The first match that Rafa and I played was a scrimmage, and we were down. We lost the first set bad, like 6-1. And after every changeover, Coach would tell us like what we had to do and what we needed to do to win and just stay in this match. And I mean, I was like, all right, I might as well listen. We already lost the first set. What else could we lose? And we ended up winning that set close. And then he's like, all right, just keep doing what you're doing. And we ended up winning the tiebreak 11-9, which was kind of a big first step for Rafa and I as a doubles team, because we went into, like, losing a first match would be like, how are we going to win this? And do I have enough confidence to do this? But winning that, I just felt like, all right, you know what, I can do this, I can get it done, and I'm not really afraid of whatever doubles team they have.
So your coach stepped in and gave you some good advice that you could work with.
Yeah, and it ended up giving me confidence in
Yeah.
like the long run. So
And that's a big deal in sports.
yeah.
Peter, how about your thoughts as coach?
Yeah, I feel like Coach had helped us out a lot during the matches, like especially Dave and I. Whenever we would get up a lot of times, we'd sort of like daydream and sort of like lose focus, and our opponents would come back.
It's a boy thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's a boy thing. So we'd sort of like just, we actually talk to each other in between points, like conversations and stuff. And Coach would, come in there and be like, hey, stay focused, put these guys away, don't let them come back. And sometimes when we lost focus, they would come back. But then Coach gave us like a lot of confidence for the third set, and we would win the third set handily.
Well, you guys have done a great job here today with us. It was so great to have both of you come in. we don't have a lot of freshmen on our show, but I mean, Mount Lebanon you guys did a great thing winning a WPIAL championship for the first time since 1994.
I think we did.
You know, I want to congratulate both of you for
Thank
being on such a successful
Thank you, sir.
tennis team, and you know, I really had fun talking to both of you and getting to know both of you, and I wish both of you best wishes in your futures.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Say thank you, Peter.
Thanks.
Also joining us are two juniors of the WPIAL Tennis Championship team of Mount Lebanon boys. Next to me, Josh Smith. Josh, it's nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
And to Josh's right, Joel Langford. Joel, it's great to have you here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Now, Josh, being a junior, you've come up through the ranks. What's it like we just had two of your freshman members here. What's the difference between being a junior and being a freshman where they're at?
Well, there's a lot more pressure. You kind of have to be a leader. I guess I've known these guys for a while, so they kind of look up to you, but it's not that much of an age difference. So I'd just say you just have more experience, so puts a little bit more pressure on you, I guess, when you play up higher. So,
What's your thoughts on that, Joel?
Well, I mean, really, it's just about as a freshman, I started at 3 singles, so it was really just being dropped into the pool. Honestly, it's just like Josh said, being around these kids for a while, it's really beneficial to everything. Yeah.
So, Josh, you played singles, which is a whole different deal than doubles. Everything's on you. Mm-hmm. Have you always played singles?
well, sophomore year I played 2 doubles with David Michaelo, and then I moved up this year to 3 singles. And it's a big deal to move. It's a big difference moving up to singles, because doubles, I mean, last year Dave and I could talk the whole time. We could talk to Augie, but then you're kind of out there on an island mostly playing singles, so it's a lot different. It's a lot more pressure. I can definitely say that.
Do you call him Augie?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joel, how about you? Have you always played singles?
Yeah, ever since I started playing tournaments when I was 7, I've always been a singles player. There's intermittent doubles, but I mean, I'm pretty much used to it. It's like I said, freshman year singles, up until now, it's just been second nature to me, really.
Josh, what do you think made this team so successful?
Well, we really are selfless players. I mean, there's no individual. No one wants to win anything individually. The team comes first, and we just really work well as a team, and that's basically what I attribute our success to.
What do you think, Joel?
I mean, yeah, it's all in the team aspect of things. Like when you look at a lot of teams, they'll call themselves a team, but you really can't judge how close they are. But I mean, in our case, I feel like this year was really unique. It seems like almost every weekend we're hanging out, we're all meeting up, hitting together in the winter, just as a team, but not only during the season. And then together, and then on the courts, we had 13 guys, which is definitely a benefit because we can go around and have people on every court cheering for. You can have a great squad if someone's down and they need the support. Post match after the WPIAL finals match, I was really feeling down, and then I had Peter Capucci. He came in, he got me out of the locker room, got me back up so I could go out and cheer Josh on for his victory. But I mean, really, it's just this perfect cooperation between all the members of the team that really made it work this year.
Good chemistry.
Yeah.
Josh, I wonder, you talk about it's not individual, it's more unselfish, but yet tennis is sort of individual, especially when you're playing singles. I mean, you got to be individual as a singles person to win. You can't really rely on anybody, so it's almost good to be selfish from a single standpoint, don't you think, or am I off?
Well, if you're playing tournaments, you're playing for yourself, then yes, you want to be playing for yourself. But when you go to high school tennis, it's kind of nice to have a change of pace where you can kind of be part of a team. When I was younger, I played on mostly team sports. I didn't really start playing tennis seriously till 8th grade, and then so it's a lot different playing a bunch of tournaments and then coming in and having to kind of be part of a team and then just cheer everyone else on. But being selfish not necessarily selfish in singles matches, I don't think I think about that. I kind of am looking around at the other how the other teams are doing and kind of cheering for them, trying to pump them up and trying to
While
make
you're
them.
playing.
Yeah. That's
So,
what
yeah,
our
okay.
team does a lot of that.
I see. Now, Joel, I understand you were one of the leaders on the team.
Yeah. for
And
the-
what does that mean,
I mean,
being a leader?
Really, I feel the need to, I have to set the example. Like in practice, I have to make sure that I'm going hard because that, I don't want to sound all uppity, but really, it feels like a lot of the other players look up to me. I am a junior and I do play 2 singles. There's only one position higher, and with that, it does come responsibility. And really, there's a lot more to it too. Like I have to go around it. I know I can motivate players. I can talk to players. And they'll listen, which is a great part. And really, I just feel like I have a big responsibility just to make sure that everything's working out and like that everybody's on their game and really just keep the team on its feet.
I think that's really important, Joel. And the thing is, as a high school athlete, back in the Stone Ages, I remember that, there was kind of a, I don't know how you can say it. These are all guys, they're close to your age, but then a leader is an asset to a team. So it's almost sometimes hard to step out and be that person because some people might take it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Was that hard for you at all?
It's kind of been an assumed position for me mainly because since I did start since freshman year, since I've had the position and the experience, it's almost just like a natural given hierarchy. And even when you have a group of people together, there's always going to be that one person that naturally dominates. And it's good because we didn't have a lot of people like that, but we also had a lot of good people that would go with that. And we all listened to each other. So it's not necessarily like there was one leader who decided everything. Like we all had our own decisions. But really, it's not as singular as it sounds.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh, you had some role in that also, did you not?
Yeah, I guess it was more of a supporting role. Joel really was there. He and good supporting cast. People like Joel and Peter Capucci really could pump up and get us going. Before matches, we would really get pumped. We would do our huddle, and Joel would be in the middle, just kind of yelling and
Going nuts.
getting us pumped up. I don't even know what you're saying. We were just kind of going
too
hard and screaming, and everyone else is just circled up. And we were just moving around, and then we would bring it in and do our chant or whatever, and then we'd come off. And the reaction we got from other teams was kind of like, wow, that's kind of obnoxious, and wow, I'm really surprised. And it was actually pretty funny because it didn't intimidate the other team, but they were like, wow, these guys mean business, kind of.
It intimidated them.
So, Joel, is that an unusual thing in high school tennis to have teams
For tennis, yes.
really chanting
Incredibly
before a game?
unusual. Yeah,
So
you
how
have
did
your
that
share.
happen?
Well, see, I don't really know how it came about, actually. It was just kind of like, there's always been the classical before the match and after the match, Lebo on 3, let's put the hands in. Once we were like, we need to get pumped up. Let's do it big. So, one day we think, what do we do? And then you always see, you're watching like NFL Network or some channel like that, and you see, you'll have the captain, he's in the center of the circle, going around and clapping and getting loud, and everyone's around him just cheering, and it really just gets your adrenaline going. We're going to bring that to the court. Granted, I would probably say all the other teams in Whitfields hated us for it. We got a lot of critique from it, both constructive and destructive. I've had coaches.
From who?
From really other members of the tennis community. I've heard, the video did happen to surface on Facebook. And then through that, some of the USC players saw it. Some, NA, I've talked to NA people. We didn't really even do it against them, but they still heard about it. Shady Side. I'm personally friends with members from many of the other teams, so it's not necessarily getting made fun of for it. But really, it's just that's kind of weird because it's not something you normally see on a tennis court because it typically is considered the gentleman's game.
Yeah,
but
right.
There's nothing gentlemanly about that. But it's all in the essence of the match, It's if we're gonna do what we're gonna do.
So it was a little controversial.
It was a little scandalous, yeah, but it's worth it because it got us pumped up before the match.
It got you pumped up.
Yeah,
Well, what are you saying in the huddle? What do you even know?
It's just kind of like a blind fury. I got everyone around me, they're chanting, they're just making noise, and I'm going in there just
Let's
spouting
go,
off
Lebo,
random,
and
things
stuff
like, let's
like
go,
that.
Lebo, come on, we got this, let's go, one more, right now, it's our time, just just whatever comes to mind, really.
So
Sometimes just,
stream of consciousness.
yeah, just whatever comes to my mouth. Sometimes it'll be things completely unrelated to tennis. I mean, I don't know. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth.
Whatever's going.
Yeah,
You just go with the flow.
pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Josh, who's your favorite teacher and why?
Well, my math teacher, Mrs. Turner, I really like her. It's a fun class. We kind of have, we've got a lot of smart kids in that class, but we got a lot of fun kids in that class. Like, it can get kind of rowdy and she can kind of get frustrated with us, but she has an enormous amount of patience, and she is a great teacher, and she can really just kind of joke along with us, like, for a few minutes, and then just get us to calm down and kind of like teach us, but still it's really fun. So I like her personality a lot. That's probably why I like her the most.
What a great thing to say about a teacher. You know, it sounds like she's really a good teacher.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, boy, that's really nice to hear. And Joel, how is it balancing everything? You got your school, you got your tennis, you got your social life. How do you do it all?
That was really tough this year, especially
Junior year's your hardest.
Yeah, junior year. I mean, between PSATs, PSSAs, SATs, SAT subject tests, and just balancing the year together, that was just havoc. And then when you bring, luckily this year, I didn't really have to worry about the social life aspect of it because we were so close as a team that you didn't. We were all kind of together, so you didn't really have to think about, what am I doing this weekend? It's like, what's the team doing this weekend? And then, but when it came down to school, that was really tough because I had organic chemistry 8th period, which is hands down one of the more difficult classes in the school. And there were multiple units where I was in class once out of a 2-week unit. I had to teach myself the entire unit, and it was nerve-wracking and stressful. Like, I would talk to the teacher, and fortunately I didn't have many other classes in the afternoon that I was missing, but it was definitely incredibly difficult. Especially this year since we were missing so much, and because of the rain, we had to go indoors. Like for our first match against USC, actually, it got rained out, so they got indoor courts, and I'm in the middle of an organic test, and Peter and John Callan actually, they burst into the room, didn't knock, just came in, and they're like, Joel, we got to go right now. And I just look at them, I said, I'm taking a test, and Mrs. Meir, of course, my organic teacher, she was skeptical. It worked out, and I just had to leave and finish the test the next day, which, I mean, it was definitely a unique situation caused by this whole tennis thing.
Did it help you study for the next day?
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I looked at the material. It's not like I looked at, luckily I was working through the entire test. I didn't really look at the answers, so, I mean, I didn't feel right actually going through and remembering which answers, or which questions and trying to find the answers to them. I just did what anyone else would do and just refresh myself on the material, because if you do think about it, there is the other side. Like, you have that time to forget as well. So,
how about that? Josh, who's your favorite tennis player and why?
Well, it's actually really difficult for me to say because, I mean, I used to be a big Roger Federer fan just because he's just so amazing at just the way he moves, and I don't think there's ever been as elegant a player as him. But it's difficult because there's so many good guys out there. I mean, you got to root for the Americans, like John Isner when he played that crazy match at Wimbledon. Definitely like Isner. Andy Roddick is there. I'm not sure what he's doing right now, but I mean, you got to root for the Americans, so I guess you got to root for them. And then Novak Djokovic on his run for 41 matches in a row. I just wanted to see the guy win, just keep his streak going, and he just recently lost at the French Open. But there's no one I really dislike. My favorites, I guess, have to be Federer.
How about the girls?
Well, I mean, it's hard to get into women's tennis because there's no like true dominator, a true champion, like someone that can really make the sport interesting, like someone to knock off. Like it's all these people who you've not necessarily ever heard of, just kind of making these finals of slams, and I don't even like know who they are, and it's difficult for me to kind of get into that. And I mean, the quality of the tennis, it's hard. It's difficult, but I like watching men's tennis.
Okay. Joel, is St. Clair, I guess, your biggest rival?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, not necessarily a hatred type rivalry. It's, I mean, because granted, I was in the USC tennis program for up until basically high school. But I mean, it's kind of just Mount Lebanon, USC in every sport. It's natural. It's, football. You just get that even from like middle school. Oh, USC kids. Oh no. It's. I can imagine it's the same for us. Oh, those rich Mount Lebanon kids. I mean, it's your standard high school. Like you have this predetermined rivalry, and you got to go with that. It's just
they're good at tennis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, and it's definitely good because, I mean, it's no fun to be rivals with a team who just really can't play. It's always good to pose that team that'll pose a threat to us. Because then you there's no certain outcome, so there's really some game left in it.
Are tennis players fun?
Well, it depends on what kind of fun you're talking about. I mean, there are a lot of players that they're homeschooled. They'll go to academies, they'll go to school at academies, and those kids, they're just straight down to business. Like, when I was 12, I was actually invited to go play at an academy and go to school there in Florida, and I turned it down because I said, you know what, I want to live a normal life. I would make the sacrifice of, instead of having the potential to go really far with my game, to rather, be a happy life and be able to live it the way I want it. But I mean, like our team, for example, we're a bunch of normal kids that just happen to play tennis together. I mean, it's not really like we're all a bunch of uppity Mount Lebanon kids, and it's not like we're a bunch of just loner type intellectuals. I mean, we're really a good mix of people.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily what people think.
Josh, do tennis players at Mount Lebanon, are they on Facebook?
We created our own group called Lebo Tennis, and it's like all of us
That's how we keep in touch.
We basically keep in touch, and even after the season's been over, we've had like videos from YouTube, our own little inside jokes, and things like that are on there, and it's nice to keep in touch that way. There have been some pretty funny moments that I can think of. So, yeah, Mount Lebanon Tennis, I guess after we win a big match, we kind of take over our little Facebook group and all of our statuses.
And just start writing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joel, is Facebook like a big thing in high school these days?
Yeah, it's almost becoming to the point where it's a necessity because I use it to get in contact with classmates about projects. It's, when do we want to work on this over the weekend? Oh, I'll just let you know. I'll just hit you up on Facebook, like I'll send you a message. I mean, it's so beneficial because now we can not only keep in touch like socially, but we can also use it for academic purposes. And I mean, we had 2 players on our team, now only one that didn't have a Facebook, and because of that, like they were missing out on news and things that we would post in the group. And since they didn't have access to that, we would have to go out of the way to get them. But Facebook is becoming such an integrated part of today's life. Like I can't tell you the last time where I didn't go on the internet and not check Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it is a complete time killer. I mean, you'll go on there and 30 minutes later, oh
Right.
wow, it's.
Josh, is having more friends on Facebook status?
Well, actually, kind of what I've found, if you have like a ton of friends on Facebook, it's kind of like an inverse relationship of how many friends you might have in real life.
Really?
At least for some people that I have seen.
So they just grab anyone and throw them on it, but they're really not their friends.
Yes, I think everyone has about maybe 25 to 50 people that they actually talk to on Facebook, and then the other people are just kind of there, But I mean,
How many friends do you have?
around 400 or so.
Joel, how many do you have?
I think I'm just bumped over 800.
Oh!
But you see, I mean, I have justification for that. Seeing from,
Justify that, please. Joel.
Yeah. Okay. Well, since I was 11, I've been playing on the junior circuit, USTA tournaments, which involves traveling across the country, the state, and playing in these tournaments. And at those tournaments, you meet a group of people. I mean, and with that, you begin to be friends with these people. And I mean, so and it's such a large group, and you have 64 kids in a tournament, 32 kids in a tournament, and it's the same group of people.
So you
and
get all their Facebooks.
Exactly. So you're going to want to friend them on Facebook so you can stay in touch with them. And it's like, I feel like a person with a life that branches outside of their hometown, that then it's more so justified to stay in touch with us. Because, I mean, like, there was a time back in middle school where I was pretty much leading two lives. I had my life, my social life at home, and then I had my life with my tennis friends because I would hang out with them on the weekends too, like kids from Pine Richland, NA, Fox Chapel, like we would all hang out together.
Like a double life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
I mean, there are some, and then there are some pro athletes that have a couple thousand, like 10,000 friends, and that's completely different. I mean, like they have their friends and they just have the people they accept. So it's really a matter of, you can't make generalizations about it. It's more so just the individual. So.
Josh, you like to go camping?
Yep, we go about once a year. Then we camp at Tuning, and then we head up to Cedar Point for a day, and that's kind of been a tradition.
Like really camp, like out in the woods?
Yeah,
camp?
well,
Like,
at a
like,
campsite,
hookups?
no electricity or anything. It's like right on a lake, so in
Do you see
tent
animals?
camping. Yeah, you do. But I
Bears?
we're not like in the deep woods. We're like, it's a campsite. We're away from everyone, but there's people around us also camping at this place. So, I mean, it's not like deep wilderness camping, but it's more like vacation camping kind of.
Gotcha. Joel, I hear you're a rowdy guy.
You could say that.
And how does that happen?
I mean, it's just kind of a natural part of my persona, really. I'm outgoing, bubbly at sometimes. It's really just, it's this thing, I mean, like, for the team, that's specifically around the team. Like, in school, not necessarily. I try not to be that way because that's just obnoxious. But when we get on the bus for the team, like, we have our techno music bumping, and we're dancing, and I'm always in the back there just going all out. But it's just, I like to have fun.
You like that?
I like to party.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Well, Josh and Joel, I want to thank you guys for both coming and sharing some time with us. What a great way to finish your junior year is to win a WPL championship. I mean, next year, the sky's the limit, right? And
Exactly.
bigger and
Go all the
better.
way.
We're going all the way. Next year's the year.
Yeah, and there's some rivals that have different ideas about that. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a big challenge for both of you. But I hope you both enjoyed being on our show.
Oh, yes.
And I want to congratulate you on the championship, and I want to wish both of you best of luck in your senior year and beyond.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Also joining us, our final guest today is a senior member of the Mount Lebanon High School Boys Varsity WPIAL Tennis Championship team. He's a doubles player, and he just came over here from Italy. His name is Rafael Fusilon. Rafael, it's great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
It's really great to have you here. So, Rafael, tell me, what was it? What brought you to the States? What prompted the move?
Well, everything from my dad's business. He's an engineer for a steel company, so Pittsburgh Steel. It's like a perfect equation. And yeah, it was either only him and leaving us in Italy or everyone. So thank God he decided to bring everyone here.
So what were your thoughts about that when you found out you were going to come to the United States?
I was super happy. I
And
was like, this is going to be awesome.
And why? What were your thoughts about the United States? What made you so happy?
Well, in Italy we have the same movies you have here, so half of them are all American movies, so you end up thinking that it's almost like reality, which I actually can say it's real like that because it's really close. But I thought U.S. was a cool country, a lot of fun, a lot of interesting activities, a place where the state will support a lot of the stuff you would do in Italy. You wouldn't see that a lot. So, a lot of positive stuff, some negative stuff, but I think more positive stuff. So I was really looking forward to it.
So you get here, you got here at the beginning of your senior year?
I got here at the end of my junior year, so beginning of April, end of March. So.
And you moved to Mount Lebanon.
Mount Lebanon, yeah.
And so what was the transition like, Rafael?
It wasn't that rough as I thought it would have been. We just, packaged everything we needed from the house, put it on the plane, take the plane, get the new house.
But how about you? And how many brothers and sisters do you
I
have?
have a sister. She's 10. It was a little bit rough for her instead, because English. It was not. She never got the chance to learn English like I did when I was smaller. So she's doing well now, though. So.
But how about you as far as friends, adjusting to friends?
Well, yeah,
What was your summer like? Did you have anybody to hang with?
Yeah, I miss my friends, of course. That's why I'm going back this summer in Italy. But last summer it was pretty interesting. I got the chance to meet the people from the ending of the year, so make some new friends. The summer was pretty exciting, so it was a successful summer.
How hard was it to make friends here?
Not that hard. I get pretty easily with people. I get to meet them well, make some jokes, hang out.
How was school different from Italy to Mount Lebanon?
I can make a full episode only about school. So school in Italy is really hard compared to here.
Yeah?
Yeah, you end up studying in Italy I also have 5 years of high school, so it's actually longer, but considering my 4th year of high school now, suppose we're in Italy, I would end up studying 5 hours per day just to get the minimum for each class. And in Italy, you don't get to choose the classes you want to take. For example, there's different high schools. You have like a scientific high school, which is my type back in Italy, where you could have the basic one, where they give you the basic classes, a little bit more advanced one, which gives you the basic classes plus foreign language. That's where I learned Spanish. And then there's the last level where you could take all the other classes plus a little bit of more like tech classes, stuff like that. So yeah, you don't get to choose the classes. English is a required class. They'll give it to you. They'll teach it to you.
So it was easier.
Here, yeah, it's easier.
Much easier.
Much easier. It's like heaven.
Really?
Yes.
And Mount Lebanon is supposed to be one of the better schools in the area.
Actually, Mount Lebanon, I really like the way they teach and stuff. But if I got to compare the hardness, of course, Italy will be harder. But I really like, for example, the way they teach here. Like, teachers are a lot different from Italy.
In what way?
In Italy, they would just talk straight to you. You either understand or you stay behind and get bad grades. Here, they're always available, ready to give you more options, opportunities, teach you. They would have time after school or before school. There's so many better stuff to talk about. But yeah.
But it gave you more time to do other things because you weren't studying 5 hours a night.
Exactly. Yeah. School ends in Italy usually ends around 1. So you finish school at 1. You go home. You have lunch. You study those 4 hours. You need the stuff you need to learn, and then if you get time, you can go at night, have fun with friends, or have some sports clubs. Because another thing, in Italy, school does not provide like sport. Like you cannot say I'm part of the soccer team because there is no soccer team in a high school in Italy. There's like a basketball team, but not a soccer team. So when I got here, I was like, oh, this is awesome. The school has soccer team, baseball team, basketball team, rifle team, everything you could ask for, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, I'm going straight into every sport they have here because it's just awesome.
Was it good to have an Italian coach in tennis?
Yeah, it was pretty. It was
Can
pretty
you speak
interesting.
Italian?
Certo che posso parlare italiano. Means of course I can speak Italian.
Yeah. Well, you can speak Italian. Can your coach speak Italian?
No. He said he has learned some words,
Yeah.
some from the season. I think the whole team learned a lot of interesting.
You taught some of the teams.
Yeah, I did. They're quick learners. They're
Yeah.
like sponges,
Yeah.
They just
So
learn.
How many languages can you speak?
I speak Italian, Romanian, English, and Spanish.
That's impressive.
Well, I got lucky when I was young, English because at the age of 3, my dad also moved to Canada for his job, so I lived there 2 years. That's where I got the chance to learn English, because they teach you English at school in Italy, but not in such a way that you can speak it. You can learn the grammar and all the other hard stuff, like grammar stuff, but they won't give you the ability to speak it fluently as you would like to. So yeah.
So I have a son, Brian.
Yep.
And he played soccer at Mount Lebanon. He played tennis at Mount Lebanon. He's up at Penn State University right now. And he just recently visited Italy and loved it, absolutely loved it, and wants to learn and become fluent in Italian. So he took Italian courses up at Penn State, and he had to actually talk his way into some of these courses because he had no background in it at all. But he told the teacher, I really want to do this, so he sold his way in and ended up, this was his favorite class. He really wanted to learn and joined the Italian club. So here's my question. What do you suggest, how can he become, or anyone that would want to become fluent in Italian?
Okay, the best tip would be to go and live in an actual Italian community where you could just talk Italian all day. Another thing could be also watch movies in Italian. That's another way I improved my English. Read books in Italian. You don't have to start from something really hard. You can also start from books they give at 5 years old, you know, just to get used to it. You just read until you read it fluently. And you just put block by block till you get better. And you can listen to music, like Italian music. I listen to English music every day. And, you know, also video games. Maybe he's into video games, you know, you can put Italian. They might not sound like really big, but they have a huge impact on everything. Language is very fundamental. So yeah, the biggest tip would be go and live in Italy.
That's good stuff, Raphael. That's good stuff. Now talk about the food difference. Italy, United States. What do we got?
Italy. Okay.
You like Italy food? Better.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, tell us why.
Well, we have pasta, homemade pasta.
So homemade, you're not buying it in the box.
Well, see, there's people that buy it in the box but cook it differently from the way they do it here, like the original way. And
What is it? How do you cook it different?
There are people that might leave it too long in the water, too short in the water.
Yeah.
In Italy, we all know like the perfect timing when to stop boiling it. And
So it's
stuff
not
like that.
too al dente, but
not
it's not too soft.
Exactly. You just got to go for the.
Right.
Every family has his own grandma or grandpa that has his own secret recipe. So, but pizza, for example, pizza of course in Italy. The best pizza you would find in Italy is definitely in the southern part of Italy. The way they cook it is really delicious. I don't know how to cook pizza.
How
but
different
I
is
just
it than
eat
American pizza?
Well, American pizza, like for example, the pizza they give at the cafeteria, I noticed not the taste, but the way they like bake it, prepare it. I mean, they put all kinds of stuff that's not supposed to be on pizza. They're like insulting my country.
Like what?
Well, I don't know. They put like I don't even know the names of the vegetables in English. Like
They put things
no,
on
not
the
like
pizza.
Yeah, like there shouldn't be.
Peppers, onions,
yeah,
mushrooms.
like or they just take the fries
pepperoni.
they have on the like side dishes and just stick in the pizza.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. That's why I don't end up buying it. But
Have you had any good pizza here?
I have.
Where?
There are two places I like here a
Okay.
lot. It's Bado's. The first time I tried it was with the soccer team.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. And another one I tried is Vocelli,
Yeah.
which it's close, but it's not perfect, but it has a good taste.
Well,
to it.
that's a heck of an endorsement, Rafa, to have you coming from Italy telling them that their pizza's good. They didn't even pay for that, and that's a great endorsement from you. So it's actually been a pretty good transition for you.
Yeah, everything has been positive so far, so yeah.
And talk about this tennis team. What was it like being on this tennis team?
It was great. The first time I got here last year, I got the chance. I came like not at the beginning of the season, so they already started it a little bit, and I was like a little bit not scared. You know, I just didn't know what to expect from it because I never had something like this in Italy. So they were great. They were friendly. They got me in. They helped me with everything, the English. We ended up having a lot of fun, jokes, and they're great people. Always cheering up when you need help. They're just great guys to have.
That's really great. Now, who is your favorite teacher and why?
Well, my favorite teacher is definitely Mr. Savarese. First, because he teaches history. That's what I'm going to be majoring in as well. And the way he teaches history is, when I got there, I was like really surprised because the way he taught me history, and it's also in English, was unique. He could teach in a way that it was like you couldn't find anywhere else. No. So we don't have like, he has this TV, every day he takes it out, he puts VHSs in, DVDs, explains you step by step every second of what happened back in the days, 80s, 90s. And I was taking US history with him. So a topic I never had the chance to learn in Italy. And I was really surprised. I actually learned a lot about every president you have, not every, but And also he speaks Italian, like not huge fluently, but I can
Little
actually
bit.
communicate with
Yeah.
him, and he's the only one in the school, so
Yeah.
that's a plus for him.
He's a great guy.
I know. I really
Great
love.
teacher.
Yeah.
I know him personally. and
I'm really
he's-
happy I got the chance to meet him.
Yeah, I think it's really great you had a chance to have
Mhm.
Mr. Savarese. Now, what do people in Italy say about the United States in general? What do you think?
That's a good question. A lot of Italian, when you talk about U.S., they find it like a place where, like a really positive place. Like you see U.S., you see like not heaven, but a nice place where you want to go when you're older. You know, you're done with your studies in Italy. I'll go to U.S., see what I can do there, find a good job, because jobs are definitely more
Plentiful here.
plentiful here. They like reward you better in what you do. In Italy, for example, if you're really good in something, and suppose for example, you're really good in tennis, okay? This happened already. There was this really good girl in tennis. She didn't have that many founds as she could have had for participating in tournaments. The Italian government didn't have they say they didn't have the money for it. So what she ended up doing was stopping and just keep playing smaller tournaments. So what happens here is that if you're really good, the U.S. government not the government, like this country notices that and appreciates your talent and everything you have positive and try to maximize it in what you can do. So, that's a great plus for
So
this
where are you going to
country.
go to college, Rob?
I'm going to Edinburgh University.
And what made you pick Edinburgh?
Well, the first time I was picking other schools as well, but when I went there, I was talking to the main person that takes you around the tour, and they said have great history facility. So since history is going to be my major, I thought I'll give it a try, and I had a really good impact on me, and as well because I want to keep playing tennis in college as well. And I talked to the coach over there, Lee Underwood, great coach, great person. The way he talks, he's really positive. So I thought, yeah, I would try to go for a Division II NCAA college, keep trying with my tennis, because I'm a really sport person. I don't like, sports is my life. I've always been sporting. At the age of 3, my dad taught me how to ski. I've been skiing all my life till I moved here because there are no big mountains where I can go around Pittsburgh. I've been always doing basketball, every kind of soccer. Of course, I had to do it, or they would kill me in Italy. But so yeah, sports is definitely. So if I would go to college, I have to do sports, and I definitely wanted to try tennis because I love tennis as well.
So when did you start playing tennis?
I started playing tennis at the age of 10, because till then I tried other sports like basketball. I did that for 8 years. Skiing, I told you already, till 1 year ago. And I still ski, but not like a lot of races. Tennis was definitely a big impact because I loved it from the first time I tried it. My dad brought me into it at the age of 5. He was like, yeah, Ralph, I'll just teach you how to play, just some hits around, just to have fun. And then a few years later, I just started going to the clinics, with in my city, have fun there, and I got into it. I liked it. I started doing tournaments, and then at the age of 14, I did my really big tournament. It was a national tournament for Italy of under 18 of a certain level, and that year I ended up winning it with my team. So after that, I felt really accomplished, and I wanted to do it. So when I came here and I saw that the school has a tennis team, which is awesome, I said, yeah, I'll just go because I love tennis. I'm not going to stop.
Well, yeah. Now, how about soccer? Now, what do they call soccer in Italy?
In Italian, they call it calcio.
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 Which, yeah. And yeah, soccer has a really big influence in everyone in Italy.
Is that the number one sport in
It's
Italy?
the number one. It's like
By
football
far.
here.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of,
like
right?
football here.
Yeah.
So people go to the soccer matches, or
Mhm.
they don't call it soccer.
Calcio
Calcio matches.
Calcio in Italian, of course, yeah.
And that's very big. So I assume that many of the young boys in Italy want to play the sport.
Yeah, they do. They start playing it since they're like born. They're born with a soccer ball straight off them.
Is that when you started?
Yeah. I mean,
So
you,
you can
you just
juggle?
yeah, I can,
Yeah.
of course. I play for the varsity soccer team as well here at Mount Lebo. So
And
this
the
season.
varsity soccer team in Mount Lebanon has a really great
Yeah, they're really good
reputation
player,
and a
yeah.
tradition. So you played for Coach Wiltshire.
Yep. great coach.
And you played with Zach Batier
was-
and that
yeah.
team, right?
Yep.
Now, what was that experience like for you?
It was pretty awesome, I would say, because you know, when I was in Italy, we would see U.S. as a country that's not really good in soccer.
Yes.
So when I got here and I saw these guys playing soccer, I was really surprised of how good they were. You know, so that was a really good impact.
So you didn't expect them to have the skills that
Nope,
they have.
nope, because you know.
But Zach Batier has some
Oh,
skills.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's a pretty special player. So, and really, it's also it's a good team. And the year
Mm-hmm.
before, just prior to you coming, they won the WPL
I heard, yeah,
championship.
I
They
heard
were really an outstanding
Mhm.
team. So when you got here to play soccer, you're expecting them not to be so good, and actually they had more
Yeah, yeah.
skills than you thought.
Mhm.
So how did you fit into that mix?
I
What position did you play?
I played. I started playing midfield, but then I just got switched up to forward, and I enjoyed it. I didn't start for the team because you know I stopped playing soccer a few years ago, so I just went for soccer, you know, just because I love soccer. I play
Yeah.
soccer every day, but I really liked it a lot. I got the chance to score some goals as well during matches, and it was a great experience. Something I was not expecting.
So what's your future? What are you thinking with your future, Rafa?
Well, definitely, history opens a lot of windows you can look at and choose a selection. So, hopefully, what I'm looking forward to is a job that I'll love and enjoy to do. So I can wake up in the morning and be like, oh, now I can go to job with a smiley face on me, right? And hopefully, I'll be married to a really sexy American girl, because you know that's like every Italian's dream, you know, foreign girl.
Is that every Italian's dream, a sexy American girl?
Well, as long as she's foreign and yeah, I guess American as well. So
Well,
We- you
what
would-
did you,
you
say
would-
before American? Foreign.
foreign, like from another country.
Oh, foreign.
foreign,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's what- my bad.
That's on me.
Mhm.
So okay, so you would like to marry an American girl?
Yeah. Why not? I mean, well, if it doesn't work out, I
Well-
can still change.
Well, my son said he liked the Italian girls when
There
he was
you-
over there.
Yeah. Well, you see, that's a mental thing. If you ask me if I like more Italian or U.S. girls, I would end up saying U.S. girls. If you ask an American if he likes more Italian or American, he will say Italian. I had a foreign guy from Australia to my house for 6 months and asked him, "Do you like more Italians or Australian?" He ended up saying Italians. So it's a mental thing, you know.
So it's just something different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, our mind works in a way that we always try to see different stuff in a good way. So that's how it works.
What are the differences between in your experience
Mhm.
from high school girls? You've known Italian high school girls, you know American high
Yep.
school girls. So what are the differences in the two?
Well, it's
From your perspective.
From my perspective, okay, so Italian high school girls are definitely interesting. The way they talk, they're really nice to you, and then you know it's really nice to stay around them. They don't act as like for example, if you're talking about a really pretty girl, you won't see this pretty girl acting like if she's like the queen of the place or stuff like that.
Not full of
Exactly.
herself.
She will just hang out with you, have
Be
fun.
humble.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. She's taught that
yeah.
way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Also, the way they dress in Italy, it's you know, we have Italian style. I wear at school here in the U.S. I go with my collar popped up because that's how we wear in
Oh,
Italy.
pop collar.
So when I go with my pop collar, everybody's like, "Why are you wearing your pop collar?" Because
Well,
that's how we do it in Italy.
it's
Exactly.
Italian.
Exactly. So you see a lot of girls dressed with style. You know, they want to look nice
Italy.
in Italy.
Okay.
Over here, I see the first day I come here, I see girls with shorts this short. I'm like, whoa!
You're not used to
is,
seeing
is
that.
this like a strip club? But I was like, this is fun.
It's just
And,
more.
Yeah,
it's looser.
more casual, you know.
More casual.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, the way they talk also, it's interesting, but you know, the dressing style is really different.
Are they more outgoing here in terms of just being more verbal here, or more humble in Italy? Is that
What does humble mean?
humble means you're modest. You're not really telling everybody how great you are.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah, we can say that Italian girls are a little bit humble, you know, more humble. And over here, they're like more open-minded. They're just like expressing everything they feel and the way they act.
Outspoken,
Yeah,
more
exactly.
outspoken.
Yeah.
And so you'd notice that.
hmm But for example, if you would have an Italian girl arguing with an American girl, you will get the Italian girl winning the discussion.
Yeah.
Because that's Italian would not end their argument till they win. That's just how it works.
That's funny.
So just
That's good. But, well, you know what? It's been fascinating to talk to you, Raphael.
It's been a
I mean,
pleasure as well
Yeah, it
for me.
really has been. And it sounds like you've had a good year here.
Yep.
A good
It
year.
was
and-
great. I'm glad I came here. No
Yeah.
regrets. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, so you've had a lot of fun this year, and
Yep.
you were looking forward to coming to the United States, and it's been good for
It
you.
happened, yeah.
And now you're going to go on to college, and maybe, are you thinking about living in the States?
Well, my dad's contract says we're supposed to stay here 2 years, but hopefully I'll get to finish my college here because that's where I'm really looking forward to. So yeah.
Well, it's been a real pleasure
My
having you on
pleasure.
our show. It
No
really,
problem. Thank you very much.
It really has been, because not everybody really knows Italy like you do. And I think there's a lot of Americans that love to visit Italy,
They
and there's
should,
a
they
lot
should.
of Italian Americans that have roots in Italy.
Yep.
And you know, Italy has a warm spot in our heart. You know, that we're
yeah.
allies, and they have the best food in the world for sure.
Exactly.
I mean, I think we can all agree with that. But you know, it's been really fascinating to have you come and talk not only a little bit of tennis, but a lot of Italy. And so I hope you enjoyed yourself today.
I did.
I want to congratulate you on being part of this championship team, Coach Garfoli, and
Great coach.
and the group did a wonderful job. They haven't won this title since 1994, so it's a big deal that you're
Yep,
part of.
yep.
And now, as you move on to college, it's going to be a whole different world. You know, you're going to have to meet people, all new people, all over again. But I'm sure you'll do fine because you did so good here in Mount Lebanon. So it's been a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much.
And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
And I hope you enjoyed our show today.
I really loved it. Yeah.
Talking to
Pretty
talking to our Mount Lebanon tennis team, and I just ask you this: to please very much consider being an organ donor. And the reason I say that is because if you needed an organ to save your life, you would certainly take that. And I hope that you'll seriously consider giving that, because I feel as if you can leave this earth with such a gift that can keep on giving. And I urge you to consider that. And I hope you enjoyed our show today. Please join us for another edition of the Lee Adams Show. Take care.